Noon game top 15 matchup, number 8 Alabama versus number 14 Mizzou. We're in for a good one. It's going to be a high-scoring affair, I'll tell you that right off the bat. Mizzou is second in the SEC, 45.2 points per game. First in the SEC, 547.6 yards per game. Bo Perbula, Ahmad Hardy leads the country in rushing yards, and he's up there in rushing touchdowns. Mizzou is really good. The one knock on them is they haven't really played anyone, right? The best team they played was South Carolina, and they gave them a close game in Columbia. South Carolina ended up losing, or Mizzou ended up winning, but Bo Perbula has played well. And I'll talk about that on my keys, I will. Alabama, you can't lose this game, because then you're back to square one with Kalen DeBoer. And I understand Mizzou is a better team than Florida State, but Alabama has lost in the Kalen DeBoer era to Oklahoma on the road, Vanderbilt on the road, Tennessee on the road, and they lost to Florida State on the road this year. You cannot lose this game. You just can't, because then it goes against the credibility of Kalen DeBoer a little. He's 7-1 against top 25 opponents since he got to Alabama. He's a big game coach. This is a big game. But it is Missouri, a football program that hasn't had a lot of success recently. So they can't lose. They can't lose for Alabama. It's not a must-win by any means, because Alabama controls their destiny in the SEC. They haven't lost an SEC game. Their schedule is fairly easy. So go win out. And it starts tomorrow against a very prolific Mizzou team. And on the other side, Mizzou and Eli Drinkwitz have a chance to get one of their biggest wins in program history and finally break through. Because Mizzou's been on the cusp. 22, they were a top 10 team, 23 rather. And they won the Cotton Bowl against Ohio State. I understand Ohio State was playing Devin Brown. They still won that game, right, with Brady Cook. Brady Cook led an insane 2-year stretch for Mizzou. Last year wasn't as good when some people thought they were going to make the playoff. And this year you bring in a transfer, Bo Perbula. You have Ahmad Hardy, who already has 730 yards and 9 touchdowns this season, which is absolutely ridiculous. And so this offense is way too good to fail sometimes. And that's going to be a challenge that I'll get into in a second. But Mizzou, this is your coming out party. This is it.
There we go.
Now the 3 keys in prediction. Key number 1 is Alabama's defense versus Mizzou's high-flying offense. Alabama, since getting out physical against Florida State, has put together 4 stellar defensive performances. 0 against Louisiana Monroe. I understand it's Louisiana Monroe. 14 against Wisconsin. 21 against Georgia. And 14 against Vanderbilt. Alabama in the 2 SEC games averaged 17 points per game against. But if you went to that Georgia game, and the Bama defense played well, they did. They have stars up and down. The place where Georgia really excelled was rushing. They ran for 227 yards on the ground. That was 100 more than Alabama did. And now you have to face Ahmad Hardy, Bo Perbula, Jamal Roberts, Marquise Davis, a really, really good Missouri rushing attack, which is near the top of the ACC, right? Missouri's rushing attack is first in the SEC. I know I just said ACC. I don't know what my problem is. And it's not even close. They average 292 yards per game. Second is Arkansas at 213 rushing yards per game. Alabama's defense. If you're going to their rushing defense, that has been their biggest problem on the defensive side of the ball this year. They are in the bottom half of the SEC, allowing 155.4 rushing yards per game against. And Bo Perbula can do it with his legs. And then you got Ahmad Hardy, Jamal Roberts, all those guys. Mizzou can run the damn ball. And so Alabama's rushing defense is key number 1. Key number 2 is Ryan Williams, Jeremy Bernard, and Isaiah Horton against Missouri's passing defense. Missouri is third in the SEC, allowing 141.4 passing yards per game against. And I understand that they haven't played that many great teams, but in the small sample size they have this season, they have had a really good passing defense, right? You're talking about Dre Norwood. He's been one of the better cornerbacks in the country up to this point. 4 passes defended against. That's up there near the top. Now, the knock against Missouri is they don't really have a lot of interceptions. They don't really force a lot of turnovers, and that's going to help an Alabama offense that is as efficient as any. So that's key number 2, right? If Alabama is able to stretch the passing game with those 3 wide receivers, because at the end of the day, Alabama's a more talented team than Missouri. These guys are 5 stars. These guys, we know what they are. We know what Ryan Williams is. We know what Isaiah Horton is, and we know what Jeremy Bernard is, right? Go against Georgia when it was talent against talent. And you're talking about Horton, 5 for 65, a touchdown. Williams had some big catches in that game. Bernard, 5 for 35, too. Ty Simpson is one of the better quarterbacks in the country. If he gets them the ball, they will win this game. Because it could be a race of 30 or 40. It really can with this defense. And for Alabama, they have running backs. They do, right? I love Jam Miller. I think he's an absolute monster. But he's only ran for 182 on the ground. Kevin Riley's 167. Those both lead Alabama. 600 yards there, and then 1,600 passing. Alabama's passing offense is the way they go. So that's number 2. Number 3 is just a quarterback matchup. I mean, Bo Pribula has been so incredible at Missouri. We saw him in glimpses at Penn State, but I don't know if anybody thought he'd be this good. Eli Drinkwitz has always been able to have a good offense, command a good offense. Pribula, 75.9% completion percentage, is near the top in the SEC. 9 touchdowns, 3 interceptions. And then there's Ty Simpson. And Ty Simpson, same thing. Absolutely incredible. He's been incredible all season, right? 70% completion percentage, 13 touchdowns, 1 interception. And so whichever quarterback plays better is going to win the game. Is that a cop-out answer? Yeah, but these are 2 elite quarterbacks. Whoever makes more plays against defenses that might not be all-worldly are going to win the game. And against Georgia, Ty Simpson made those plays. But Missouri pressures the quarterback more than Georgia. Missouri really does. When you look at this defense, I mean, you're talking about Damon Wilson, 3.5 sacks, Zion Young, Khalil Jacobs, Chris McClellan. They all get to the quarterback. More than Georgia. And so for Simpson, it's not going to be easy. And it's not going to be easy for Pribula either. So whichever quarterback plays better, they're going to win this game. Prediction? I think Alabama wins this game. I think 3.5 is a fair spread. It's the biggest game Missouri has hosted maybe in their football program's history. It really is. This is a game Alabama can't lose because then all the talk, all the positives over the past 4 weeks, you just got to scrap them. And I understand Missouri's a good team. I do. And I think Missouri could make the playoff if they win this game. They really can. But Alabama has lost so many games on the road. I understand they beat Georgia. I do. You can't lose this one if you're Kalen DeBoer. You can't. And I don't care if it's 90 degrees out or 86, whatever it's supposed to be in sunny. Bring out the black hoodie. You got to win this game. I think Ty Simpson maybe not outperforms Bo Pribula, but he makes the plays necessary to win. Because the difference between these 2 programs in the past few years, even when you go back to Nick Saban, obviously, but I'm not even going to go back to Nick Saban. Alabama's a program that makes the plays to win. Missouri, I don't know if they are yet because they haven't played that many opponents that are quality. And Missouri's defense is worse than Alabama's, if I had to say it. I'm going to say Alabama 35, Missouri 28. I think Missouri keeps it close throughout the game. I think we're seeing a shootout. I think both defenses could get lit up. I think Alabama's going to force 1 or 2 turnovers on Pribula, and I think that's the difference. Simpson's so efficient, and I think Simpson's going to make the plays necessary. His receivers are more talented, and that's going to be the thing. The Alabama offensive line is good. So give me the Tide 35-28.
There we go.